My beloved child, heed my call now. In the midst of the ceaseless clamor of your world, I am speaking a message that will transform your very being. A decisive moment is upon you, a turning point that will sweep away the illusions of fleeting pursuits and reveal the eternal truth of my love. Do not let distraction or delay rob you of the divine opportunity that awaits. Each second brings you closer to the fulfillment of the destiny I have ordained for you. Stay with me until the end, for I will unveil mysteries that will reshape your life and lift you into a realm of unending hope and eternal joy. Hurry, my child, for the hour is swift and precious. Open your heart and prepare to receive the miracle that is destined to change everything. When I behold the multitude of souls inhabiting this world, I see countless hearts weighed down by countless fears, worries, and incessant pursuits of fleeting satisfaction. They hustle through each day, often striving for goals that promise security, but leave their spirits thirsting for something deeper. Amid this constant motion, only a small number pause long enough to sense the tremendous significance of the hour that approaches. I observe how entire cities brim with ceaseless activity. Yet within that noise, few truly connect with the profound meaning behind existence itself. This day I speak of will not be like the revolutions of time you have known, for it will bring a finality to the old and a decisive commencement of the new. In that moment, I will elevate many souls heavenward in ways beyond what human reason and earthly logic can foresee. These souls will experience a sudden lifting up, like a swift but gentle breeze, carrying them beyond the constraints of earthly sorrow or limitation. All the illusions that preoccupy the minds of many, worries over status, over possessions, over fleeting gratification, will pale in comparison to the reality unveiled on that day. But my child, not every person is ready for this transformation, for it requires the cultivation of humble expectation and unwavering faith. The bustle of daily life can easily entangle a soul, causing it to lose sight of the deeper calling. Yet I yearn for none to remain unaware or unprepared. Let your heart be among those who choose vigilance over complacency, prayer over distraction, surrender over stubborn self-reliance. I do not share these truths to weigh you with fear, but to guide you toward love's purifying power, ensuring that you recognize the value of true readiness. When that hour arrives, those who have kept watch will be gathered in unimaginable joy, their hearts no longer weighed by dread or uncertainty. My beloved child, strive to live each passing day in a manner that welcomes me, nurtures the growth of your spirit, and discerns the difference between eternal truth and worldly illusion. Embrace a daily life of compassion, mercy, and trust, for these are keys that open the doors to the kingdom of unending light. Let not the fleeting promises of popularity or worldly acclaim lead you astray from the deeper, quieter invitation I extend to your soul. Cultivate a calm spirit and a listening heart, for in the midst of the world's clamor, I speak in gentleness, calling you closer than you ever dared imagine. It is my desire that you find solace and tranquility within my presence, even as the tumult of mortal life swirls around you and tries to divert your focus. Recognize that no matter how advanced technology becomes or how complex global affairs grow, there remains a divine timeline steering creation toward its appointed destiny. In each breath you draw, in each beat of your heart, I am present with compassion and purpose, inviting you into deeper communion, reminding you that everything here is momentary. Let your soul awaken, setting its gaze on the horizon of eternity, where I stand as both your shepherd and your destination. You are precious beyond measure, and the times we traverse are filled with as many hazards as opportunities. So cling to me in steadfast faith, even when the darkness of adversity gathers or the voices of doubt grow loud. My hand remains outstretched to lift you from every mire of discouragement. Therefore, my child, do not delay in preparing for the day that will forever shape your destiny, a day in which my love and justice will converge in breathtaking clarity. Turn your gaze inward, my cherished one, and consider the complexity that forms the tapestry of your days. Among the work, the responsibilities, and the relentless hum of obligations, you may often forget the deep longing of your spirit for meaningful connection with its creator. I invite you to set aside the relentless demands of modern life for a moment, examining your innermost desires and uncovering the seeds of faith waiting to bloom. You were not brought into being by accident or mere happenstance. Your existence is the outcome of love's grand design, shaped by an eternal plan that surpasses earthly comprehension. In each trial or struggle, there is a hidden invitation to refine your heart, to draw nearer to me, and to discern the difference between passing illusions and enduring truth. Your life, though brief compared to the span of eternity, carries the potential to bear fruit that lasts forever, fruit cultivated through acts of kindness, compassion, and devotion. Sometimes, confusion over what truly matters can tempt you to pursue accolades or possessions that glimmer brightly, yet prove hollow in times of crisis or self-reflection. But my heart aches when I see souls who spend their precious years chasing illusions, never pausing to discover the wellspring of hope and life that I offer them freely. Many believe that the fullness of living arises from worldly achievements, while neglecting the stirrings of the spirit that yearns for divine communion. Your place in the universe is unique. You are gifted with capacities for thought, feeling, and creativity, all intended to reflect glimmers of my eternal nature. Take time, my beloved, to quiet the noise around you and let the whispers of my spirit guide you to a higher awareness of my love and holiness. Do not shy away from honest self-examination, for only in sincere humility can you confess your weaknesses and make room for my grace to transform you. If you find regret or brokenness along your past path, let it propel you toward me in repentance, rather than deeper into guilt or shame. My arms remain open, not in judgment, but in patient expectancy, ready to receive your surrendered heart, no matter how burdened it has become. The call to reflect on your life is not a summons to condemnation, but an invitation to align with the glorious horizon I have prepared for you. Every kindness you show, every prayer uttered in earnest, every time you extend forgiveness, all are steps on the path of growth in faith. Amid a generation so easily captivated by shallow pursuits, your dedication to self-examination and humility can stand as a radiant testimony of spiritual depth. Trust that my mercies are renewed each day, furnishing you with the strength to break old patterns and move forward in newness of soul and spirit. If you wonder whether you have strayed too far or waited too long, know that I am the God of second chances, the maker of fresh starts, delighting in the reawakening of a humble heart. Consider each passing day a sacred gift, a blank canvas upon which you can paint the reflections of my eternal love with your daily actions. Let your soul resonate with truth and sincerity, guided by my Spirit's prompting, so that you become a clear vessel of my light in a world thirsting for genuine hope. Do not waste your existence on pursuits that fail to nourish you from within. Rather, set your heart's focus on love that stretches beyond mortal boundaries. Take courage in the knowledge that I do not expect perfection from you, but a willing desire to learn, evolve, and walk steadfastly toward the invitation of heavenly communion. Child of mine, realize the profound significance of the present day, for it is a creation I bestow upon you with each sunrise. You wake to hours that have never been lived before, moments that hold possibilities of holiness, redemption, and transformation beyond any you have tasted. All too often, individuals treat their days lightly, presuming upon tomorrow, yet tomorrow is no guarantee to mortal flesh. Your worldly endeavors can sometimes lull you into believing you have an abundance of time, when in truth, every day is priceless and cannot be reclaimed once it has passed. Consider how swiftly the years slip away, how fleeting youth seems, how quickly your ambitions shift, and how easily regrets can settle in a heart that overlooked love's priorities. I have granted you this day an unrepeatable opportunity to align your thoughts, words, and deeds with my eternal design. Living with the recognition that each hour is a divine gift will guard you from squandering your energy on meaningless trifles. You do not know when your final sunrise on earth will dawn, nor the moment you will breathe your last and step into the dimension beyond mortal sight. Let this awareness inspire gratitude rather than fear, prompting you to cherish each opportunity to do good, to speak kindness, and to plant seeds of everlasting value. Too frequently, people awaken preoccupied with tasks and desires that scarcely matter in the grand tapestry of eternity. They chase fleeting prizes, approval from strangers, accumulation of wealth, ephemeral forms of entertainment, only to discover how hollow these pursuits become when real trials descend. For this reason, let your priority each morning be to seek my face, draw near to my word, and discern how you can be an instrument of love in the hours that follow. Whether your calling today involves caring for a child, or laboring diligently at your job, or simply offering a listening ear to someone in pain, do it as an act of devotion to me. No act of sacrificial love is overlooked. No gesture of compassion is too small to hold deep significance in my eyes. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, but the chance to let my spirit move through you today is a certainty, if you but open your heart. This day is the living gift in your hands. Let it not pass unmarked by prayer, reflection, and the tangible expression of love. Even in mundane tasks, if you acknowledge my presence and remain attuned to my guidance, each hour can blossom into something sacred and eternally meaningful. I urge you not to trivialize or postpone the nudgings of your conscience, for each is a gentle whisper from my heart, urging you to seize the blessings of this present hour. Some have postponed their spiritual journey, thinking they will set their lives in order after they have achieved certain ambitions or satisfied certain personal goals. But life's fragility is a constant reminder that only now is promised. Only now can you make the choices that direct your destiny. Yet do not let this soberness discourage you. Let it instead awaken in you a sense of holy purpose, of renewed intention to honor me and serve others with your whole being. Remember that at the close of each day, you have the chance to look back and ask whether you spent your time wisely, whether you followed the path of love and humility. You stand in a continuous invitation to draw from my strength, my wisdom, and my grace, so that today becomes more than a passing measure of hours. It becomes a passage into holiness. In the final reckoning, the greatest tragedy is not that life passes quickly, but that so many let it slip by without ever living in the fullness of love and truth I make available. Therefore, seize this day, grasp it with hope and reverence, and transform its minutes into building blocks for a foundation that reaches into eternity. It is vital, my beloved, that you do not treat tomorrow as though it were an entitlement, for no mortal is guaranteed endless tomorrows. To assume perpetual days is to neglect the reality that each breath is a miracle, each heartbeat an act of grace sustaining you in this earthly realm. Uncertainty veils the immediate future. Conflicts may erupt, sudden tragedies may occur, hearts may turn in directions unanticipated. When you cling to tomorrow as a surety, you risk postponing the deeper work of repentance, forgiveness, generosity, and devotion until a day that may never come. I do not say this to fill you with dread, but to awaken you to the reality that time is a precious, limited resource given, so you might turn, grow, and align with the higher truths I have established. If you withhold acts of compassion, telling yourself that you will reconcile or reach out another day, the chance may slip away and leave you haunted by regrets that weigh heavily on the soul. Likewise, if you keep ignoring my daily invitation to walk more closely with me, a crisis may arise that finds you spiritually unprepared, lacking the peace and solace that come from rooted faith. Beloved, tomorrow is uncertain. Let this truth foster urgency in your pursuit of spiritual readiness, rather than complacency or delay. At the appointed time, I will come, and all illusions of perpetual earthly life will vanish, replaced by the unfiltered light of my presence and the ultimate revelation of my kingdom. Many will realize too late that they had convinced themselves of endless tomorrows, never allowing my love to transform them from within. Those who turned their hearts away or brushed off the promptings of my spirit will meet the sting of lost opportunity, facing an emptiness that resonates with finality. But I urge you, do not be one of these. Turn to me wholeheartedly in the present moment, letting nothing hinder you from experiencing the depth of my mercy, the power of my grace, the wholeness my love provides. Refrain from the toxic illusions that hold you captive, illusions that whisper, "I have all the time in the world." Instead, open your eyes to the unpredictability of mortal life and the unshakable certainty of divine truth. When I return, I will not honor those who are tepid or lukewarm, those who honor me with their lips while their hearts remain far away. I seek those who, though flawed, have earnestly pursued the path of love, resisting the complacency that tells them to wait indefinitely for a more convenient season. Let your soul break free from the mundane cycles that lull it to sleep, from the false assurance that your window for real transformation has no boundary. Every day you walk this earth is an opportunity to invest in eternal treasures and to draw nearer to the heart that beats with unwavering affection for you. The illusions of modern progress, the achievements that enthrall the mind, all fade in the glare of eternity's brilliance, reminding you that only what is done in love remains. When tomorrow arrives, let it find you living in hopeful anticipation, already determined to trust in me and to act upon the convictions I have placed in your soul. Many hearts in this world drift in a current of passivity, neither hot nor cold, resigned to the belief that life is but a series of random episodes. I behold entire communities lulled into complacency by shallow comforts, entertainment, consumption, self-absorption, while their spirits lie dormant. They do not always harbor active rebellion. They simply embrace a life orchestrated by distraction, never plumbing the depths of faith and spiritual longing. Indifference may appear harmless, yet it constitutes a grave danger, for it anesthetizes the soul against the urgency of turning fully to me. Even the mention of divine truth can pass like wind through the ears of those who are too absorbed in trivial pursuits, leaving no imprint on their daily mindset. But know this, beloved, to remain indifferent is to remain unresponsive to the greatest invitation ever extended, the call to walk in truth, to be embraced by unending love, to share in a destiny that transcends mortality. In my eyes, indifference stands as a silent rejection of my love, for it refuses to acknowledge the gifts of revelation, grace, and salvation made available. While some may occupy themselves solely with short-lived pleasures, there is a stirring in many hearts that recognizes something vital is missing. You, my child, need not adopt the same posture of ambivalence. You are invited to open your heart fully, to recognize the whispered promptings that gently urge you toward meaning and significance. Hear me. You do not have to remain in spiritual slumber, going through the motions of everyday routine without glimpsing the eternal dimension breathing beneath. I plead with you to shatter the chains of apathy, to realize that every sunrise is an ongoing miracle, every beat of your heart a testimony of my sustaining power. Refuse to let entertainment, technology, or personal ambition supplant the yearning of your soul for an encounter with its creator. Indifference is the breeding ground for spiritual emptiness, an emotional desert that stifles the capacity to care deeply, to love sincerely, to hope fervently. A lukewarm spirit cannot withstand the upheavals that come, for it lacks the firm grounding of conviction or the vigor of purposeful devotion. Your life carries immeasurable potential, for I have woven into your being the aptitude to reflect my compassion, my creativity, and my justice in your sphere of influence. But that reflection can only shine forth if you awaken, if you confront the ways in which superficialities keep you from surrendering to my higher call. No matter how long you have lingered in half-heartedness, my grace stands ready to enliven you anew, igniting your spirit to rediscover what it means to walk in truth. Hence, let your heart stir from any sleepiness that has dulled its sensitivity to my presence, to my word, to my gentle leading. Time is of the essence, my child, and the opportunities of today should not be forfeited because you assume a tomorrow that might never be realized. Return to me, discover again the vibrancy of a soul inflamed with divine purpose, and let every breath you draw reflect the fullness of life I bestow. Beloved, I have not asked you only to listen for my voice, but to become a resonating chamber that carries my truth into places of emptiness and confusion. Wherever I have placed you, among friends, family, co-workers, or even strangers, you bear the calling to be a living epistle, a herald of love, hope, and righteous conviction. Consider the magnitude of the need. Countless souls wander, unsure of who they are or why they exist, thirsting for a clearer sense of identity and belonging. They do not know that a God of compassion stands waiting, longing to draw them into an eternal fellowship where their essence is cherished beyond measure. Your willing heart can bridge that gap, can speak the timely word, can offer the gentle hand, can demonstrate the reality of my tender concern for each person's destiny. Do not think you must shout from rooftops or preach in grand cathedrals. Often my message is conveyed best in simple, ordinary encounters that ring with authenticity. Even a single conversation, guided by the Holy Spirit and tempered with kindness, can plant seeds in a heart that eventually blossom into a radical life change. Yet to become my voice, you must first surrender your own will, your ego, your personal agendas, so that my words and my love might flow freely and untainted. Any notion that you must be flawless or exceptionally gifted before I can use you is false, for I delight in using humble, imperfect vessels as channels of my grace. Speak with empathy and gentleness, listening to the stories of others, empathizing with their struggles, and offering truth not as condemnation, but as a lifeline. Remember that no deed performed in love is wasted. No word infused with my compassion returns void. For every act of mercy resonates in the spiritual realms where I reign. Yes, there may be times you face ridicule, rejection, or indifference when you share what you have received from me. But do not let these responses discourage you. Realize that at times the soil of a person's heart is not ready to receive, and at other times the seed you sow will take root where you cannot see. Every step of obedience you take, every moment you yield to the impulse of my spirit, weaves together in a tapestry more expansive than your eyes can perceive. If you feel unqualified, remember that I, the Lord of all creation, will walk with you, guide your words, and magnify your small offerings into treasures of eternal worth. Stand firm in faith, and let your daily life become a radiant testimony of my character, teaching others through your actions what it means to abide in divine love. Cherish the opportunity to serve, to comfort, to challenge, to speak life into souls languishing in hopelessness. For in doing so, you reveal the beating heart of God to a broken world. When the ultimate chapter of this earthly drama draws near, the very heavens will declare a testimony that cannot be denied or misunderstood. The skies, which throughout history have displayed beauty and wonder, will undergo a shift so monumental that the human mind will stand stunned by its magnitude. Stars may dim, strange lights may appear, and celestial events will unfold that defy conventional explanations, awakening humanity to a dimension of reality they often dismiss. It will be as if the tapestry of the cosmos is rolled back, revealing hidden truths and powers that have always existed, yet rarely are perceived by mortal eyes. Nature, in all its grandeur and complexity, will vibrate with the echo of the approaching revelation, as though bracing itself for the King who comes in glory. In that moment, the illusions of humankind's self-sufficiency will collapse, and even the hardest hearts will sense a trembling fear that reaches to the core of their being. This is no mere myth or superstition. It is the fulfillment of promises spoken through prophets, apostles, and visionaries across millennia, converging in one spectacular consummation. Trumpets will sound in realms beyond your earthly plane, a clarion call penetrating every excuse, every shield of unbelief, every locked room of skepticism. Those who have lived with open eyes and ready hearts will not cower in terror when the heavens proclaim their final message. Rather, they will lift their faces in wonder and affirmation. They will feel the exhilarating assurance that what they cherished in faith now stands unveiled in undeniable, supernatural power. Their hearts will swell with worship, a chorus of gratitude and relief that the story they have lived by is indeed woven into the fabric of cosmic reality. Yet, for the souls who scorned every caution, who belittled every notion of accountability beyond themselves, a dread like none other will descend. The protective bubble of worldly explanations, the tranquilizing effect of rational materialism, will be shattered by the voice of eternity resounding in the firmament. Their eyes will dart frantically for answers, but the only response will be the echo of regret. The realization that the hour they mocked has arrived in unstoppable force. Calamity will grip them like a raging storm, not because I delight in their suffering, but because a lifetime of refusing my voice has led them to reap the whirlwind of separation from truth. Even then, some might cry out for last-minute mercy, and I, being the God of boundless compassion, will hear every genuine cry, though the window to respond narrows. Time, as you have known it, will shift, entering a moment of divine reckoning where deception cannot stand, and every falsehood is stripped bare. Thus, the dividing line will appear crystal clear. Those who have built their lives on faith, drawing nourishment from my word, shall be lifted high, while others remain mired in the chaos they themselves permitted. Do not wait for the skies to split before recognizing the seriousness of your choices and the authenticity of my promise. My beloved child, every beat of my divine heart thrums with a love so boundless it surpasses every human analogy, every fragment of mortal language. Throughout eternity, I have carried you in my thoughts, longing for the moment you would recognize your place in my grand story of redemption. My devotion to you is neither fickle nor conditional, but an ever-present flame, warming and illuminating the corners of your life you believed were too dark or too broken. Before you were formed in the womb, before the foundations of the cosmos were laid, my love for you already existed, an unshakable pillar upon which your existence rests. Even when you turned away from my guidance, I pursued you, orchestrating encounters and second chances, hoping you would see me standing with open arms. In your loneliness, in your tears, in the times you felt forsaken, my heart ached for you, longing to envelop you in the comfort of an everlasting embrace. The magnitude of my love is evident not just in the grand arc of salvation history, but in every gentle mercy you experience each day. Sunlight, food, breath, health, relationships. I watch how easily worldly influences try to dilute or distort your understanding of how precious you are to me, painting lies of unworthiness, shame, or irredeemable guilt. But remember, my dear one, the voice that calls you worthless or beyond hope does not proceed from me. For all I desire is your restoration, your joy, and your eternal companionship. No transgression you have committed can overshadow the surpassing brightness of my grace. For my mercy triumphs over judgment when a heart repents with sincerity. If you have moments where you feel too sullied by sin or haunted by your past, realize that my love is not a fragile sentiment, but a raging force that obliterates every chain. When doubts gnaw at your spirit, whispering that you cannot possibly be loved, stand firm in the knowledge that my own word declares otherwise, sealed by the sacrifice that proves your value in my eyes. I do not tire of seeking you, nor do I cease to hope in your eventual return to my arms. For love is patient, love is kind, and I epitomize those qualities more perfectly than any human ever could. Rest in the assurance that my love is not measured by your accomplishments or undone by your failures. It simply is, immutable and eternal. Every time you fall, every time you find yourself straying, I beckon with the promise that I can turn your ashes into beauty, your weeping into laughter, your despair into fresh expectancy. Let the knowledge of my unending affection soak into your spirit, nourishing it like rain upon parched ground, liberating you from the captivity of fear and doubt. If you allow me fully into the recesses of your heart, if you let my love reshape your view of self and of the world, you will find a wellspring of peace and courage that nothing can steal. Should you need evidence of my love, look to the cross, look to the countless testimonies of changed lives, and finally, look within your own story for the traces of my hand. Truly I stand at the door of your heart, knocking, not to condemn, but to bring forth the luminous reality of redemption that your soul was designed to receive. Within the realm of the unseen, a cunning adversary lurks, tirelessly seeking ways to undermine your trust in me and corrupt the beauty I have woven into your destiny. He thrives on distortions, half-truths, and cunning manipulations of your emotion, capitalizing on moments of weakness or confusion to implant despairing thoughts. Whenever a whisper surfaces in your mind that proclaims you are too flawed, too far gone, or too insignificant to merit my care, recognize the shadow of this malevolent deceiver. He labors incessantly to erode your confidence in my goodness, attempting to blind your eyes to the love I pour out, hoping you will instead cling to resentment or bitterness. Subtlety is his weapon. Rarely does he appear as a monstrous figure from nightmares, but rather as a sly voice that twists your perceptions of me, of others, of yourself. He delights when your focus drifts from prayer, from my word, from fellowship with believers who would uplift you, and he rejoices if you isolate yourself in cynicism or pride. Yet, know that he holds no ultimate authority. He is a defeated foe, permitted to operate only within the boundaries of a fallen world awaiting restoration. I have given you tools of defense: prayer, scripture, worship, the counsel of godly companions, and the indwelling power of my Holy Spirit, each capable of dispelling the lies and illusions he spreads. When you feel overwhelmed by accusations of unworthiness, anchor yourself in my truth, speaking aloud the promises and affirmations I have declared over you. Realize that the enemy's strategy is to keep you from grasping the liberating reality of your identity as my beloved child. For once you embrace that truth, his manipulations lose their grip. No matter how tenacious the adversary's whispers, remember that the light of my presence always exposes and triumphs over any darkness, scattering it like dust before the dawn. Seek reconciliation where division has been sown, for the enemy uses even small resentments to construct vast barriers between you and my healing grace. Guard your thoughts, for the mind is a battlefield where the enemy plants seeds of doubt, fear, envy, or self-condemnation, seeking a harvest that separates you from love. But my spirit within you is more potent than any deception, gently guiding your conscience, convicting you where you need correction, and strengthening your faith when tested. Stand firm on the identity I have bestowed upon you, confident that I who began a good work in you will carry it to completion, despite every lie the enemy hurls your way. Keep your armor on, my child, the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of my word, each piece vital in this spiritual battle. Though you may at times grow weary, never lose sight of the reality that ultimate victory belongs to me, and I share that triumph with all who remain loyal to the end. It is no accident you have encountered these words, for I orchestrate moments of awakening when hearts are ripe to receive the deeper call of my spirit. You live at a juncture in history where events converge swiftly, moral compasses falter, and many turn to empty philosophies in search of direction. Yet, I have placed you here for such a time as this, a unique role that only you can fulfill. If you yield to the shaping influence of my hand, I sense the questions stirring within you, the yearning for clarity about your purpose, your destiny, your ultimate belonging. And I reply, you are not merely a bystander in the flow of events. but a participant in the narrative of redemption that continues to unfold. Though modern society might degrade the concept of a divine timeline, focusing instead on immediate gratification or insular concerns, you can stand as a testament to a more transcendent reality. Realize that your days are numbered not in a fatalistic sense, but in the manner of a precious countdown, each moment pregnant with potential for loving service and spiritual growth. Your appointed time is woven intricately into my grand design, a tapestry of relationships, circumstances, and divine appointments that beckons you to share in my eternal perspective. When the final chapters of Earth's story draw to a climax, I seek souls who are awake, who sense the pulse of my heart and speak forth hope amid confusion. You need not be perfect, but you must be willing, for I can work wonders through one humble life dedicated to glorifying me. The challenges you observe, political unrest, moral decay, rampant injustice, are not random but signs that creation groans, awaiting the fullness of my kingdom. Amid these shadows, your light can shine brighter, illuminating paths for those who wander in spiritual fog, uncertain and vulnerable to despair. Do not waste time lamenting the darkness or cursing the evil around you. Instead, fix your eyes on me, the author and finisher of your faith, who calls you to persevere and to stand firm. In your times of questioning or discouragement, learn to rest upon my promises, trusting that my plan is not derailed by earthly chaos, but marches forward to its rightful end. Do not fear the magnitude of your generation's struggles, for I have placed you precisely here and now, that you might be an agent of healing and truth. Your appointed time includes not only a mission to serve, but also a season of preparation, a process through which I refine your character and deepen your relationship with me. Through prayer, study of my word, fellowship with other believers, and serving in love, you steadily equip yourself for a role that transcends any worldly label. When you stumble, do not lose heart. Your mistakes can become stepping stones that teach humility and reliance on the grace that I abundantly provide. Thus, my beloved, stand with courage in this pivotal hour, recognizing that no detail escapes my oversight, no sorrow is beyond my comfort, no challenge is beyond my power to redeem. Open the eyes of your spirit, dear one, to the myriad signs I have woven into the world around you and within your own life. From the shifting patterns of nature to the restlessness that pervades global communities, everything points to a coming culmination. Earthquakes, storms, and social upheavals speak of an environment groaning under the burden of sin and longing for restoration. Technological leaps, while astounding, cannot soothe the existential hunger of souls in search of belonging and meaning far beyond scientific data. Look at the swirl of confusion in moral debates, the fracturing of families, the intensification of crises. None of these are trivial coincidences. They serve as alarms, reminding humanity that its deeper need is not for self-reliance, but for a Savior who reconciles all that is fragmented. My beloved, each of these signs testifies that the clock of history edges ever closer to a pivotal moment when my kingdom's reality breaks forth unmistakably. Will you then remain indifferent or cede to despair? Or will you take heart in knowing that I remain sovereign, that no tragedy or rebellion can thwart my ultimate plan? Discern the times with wisdom and readiness, not succumbing to panic but anchoring yourself in the confidence that my will shall be accomplished. Yes, deception abounds in these final days. False teachers and shallow ideologies pop up, leading many astray with sugar-coated illusion. But if you ground yourself in my word and the fellowship of sincere believers, you will distinguish truth from cunning fabrication and hold steadfast to the hope set before you. Even your personal struggles can be sign, urging you to root out sin, to stand against the enemy's attacks, and to depend more deeply on my sustaining grace. Thus, remain ever watchful, setting your gaze on the horizon of divine fulfillment, ready to act in love, to speak in truth, and to walk in humble faithfulness. Do not let fear paralyze you, for I am with you, and my spirit empowers you to respond with courage and compassion when confronted by the storms of life. Persist in patience, for though events may escalate, my timing is perfect and my outcome certain. I will gather my own to myself, and every promise will find completion. Surrender is a word rarely cherished in a culture that idolizes self-sufficiency, independence, and personal conquest. Yet, child of mine, surrender to me is the key to finding genuine life, an act that relinquishes the burden of control and aligns your heart with the current of my will. In letting go of your unyielding grip on your plans, your anxieties, and even your notion of self, you pave the way for my spirit to blossom within you. Surrendering does not erase your personality or your dreams. Rather, it sanctifies them, directing your passions and gifts toward the service of higher divine ends. When you place your life on the altar before me, you acknowledge that I, who formed you in the secret place, know the path that will bring you into the fullness of joy and maturity. Releasing your tight hold may feel disorienting, for it involves trusting me with your vulnerabilities, your uncertainties, and your very future. But consider how fleeting and unstable mortal assurances can be, how swiftly circumstances change, and how fragile every human foundation truly is. If you cling to illusions of control, you risk losing the serenity found in my presence, a serenity that transcends external conditions or the judgments of others. I am not an oppressive dictator. I am a loving Father who respects your free will, yet longs to guide you along a corridor of light, beyond the limitations of your own understanding. Let the illusions of self-sufficiency fall away, and embrace the security of my arms, where your deepest wounds can be healed, your darkest secrets forgiven, your greatest potential unlocked. Surrender also includes offering up your hurts and resentments, refusing to let them harden into bitterness, which only imprisons your heart and dims your ability to love fully. Lay your fears upon my altar, for I am the one who parted seas, who calmed tempestuous waves, who overcame death itself, and can quell the storms in your soul. As you surrender, you enter a covenant of trust, where I become your refuge, your shield, your source of wisdom in every crossroad. Such trust, once established, yields freedom from the compulsions that drive so many to exhaustion or moral compromise. At times you may wrestle with this call to surrender, as though you must preserve some corner of your life for your own autonomy. Yet, the fullness of my blessing awaits those who yield themselves wholly, discovering that my ways exceed the best of human planning. When your heart submits to my leading, your perspective shifts, enabling you to perceive how suffering can be redeemed, how weakness can become strength, how death can birth resurrection. Let your prayer each day be, Lord, take all of me, my joys, my pains, my questions, and my longings, and mold them into something pleasing and fruitful for your kingdom. From such a prayer arises a peace that surpasses all comprehension, a clarity that merges your desires with my perfect will, forging a unity you once thought unattainable. Therefore, beloved, let your life be one of constant preparation, not in obsessive fear, but in serene expectancy of the day we will be fully joined. In this readiness, you will find that each deed, each conversation, each private thought possesses weight and meaning, as it all shapes the testimony you bear. Keep your lamp bright by immersing yourself in prayer, in the sacred text of my word, in the fellowship that sharpens iron against iron, refining your spiritual understanding. Do not let the ephemeral cares of the world overshadow your responsibility to remain awake and watchful, for the night is far spent and the dawn of a new epoch draws near. To live in readiness is to hold a heart that sees beyond immediate gratification, anchoring itself in the unfolding tapestry of divine redemption. Though you face temptations, heartbreaks, and the mundane tasks that fill your calendar, living in readiness elevates these experiences to holy ground. If you approach them with my perspective, when you fall, do not linger in shame, but rise quickly, seeking my forgiveness and embracing the cleansing that my sacrifice provides. Show kindness to others, for in your acts of love you mirror my character, drawing others to consider the reality of my grace. Let your faith be more than a creed. Let it be a lived devotion that humbly serves even the least among you. For I reside in the hearts of those who love sacrificially. Resist cynicism, a disease that corrodes the spirit, making it blind to the wonders I perform daily in hearts that genuinely seek me. Instead, nurture a spirit of gratitude, scanning each day for evidence of my providence, the subtle miracles and the quiet mercies that sustain you. Hold loosely the possessions or accolades you accumulate here, aware that your true inheritance lies in the kingdom I have prepared, untouched by decay or theft. In times of deep frustration, remember that I, too, walk the earth, acquainted with sorrows, misunderstood by many, yet unwavering in purpose and compassion. Take up your cross, not as a symbol of pain alone, but as a testament to redemptive love, knowing that resurrection always follows genuine sacrifice in my economy. Keep ever before you the promise that one day soon you will stand face to face with me, freed from tears, from heaviness, and from the crippling fears that once plagued you. Let the knowledge of that destiny shape your present, invigorating you with hope and perseverance, reassuring you that no labor of love is in vain. I watch how your efforts, though seemingly small, gather significance when performed from a heart aligned with my will, forming a steady light that guides others to safety. And at the conclusion of this mortal pilgrimage, you will hear me whisper the words every longing soul yearns for. Well done, good and faithful servant. Such an accolade is not reserved for those of great fame or worldly success, but for the faithful, the attentive, the humble in spirit who abide with me despite every trial. Father, I approach you with awe, acknowledging how your grace has led me to this moment, hungry for truth in a world brimming with noise. Open my eyes to the signs you orchestrate, from the murmurs within my conscience to the convulsions in global society, signaling your nearness. Help me repel the allure of fleeting distractions, instead choosing the narrow path that secures my steps in your everlasting promise. Lord, I come with a repentant heart, aware of where I have fallen short, where I have allowed pride or indifference to stifle your Spirit's work in me. Cleanse me, I pray, removing every shadow of bitterness, envy, or resentment, so that nothing hinders my communion with you. Restore me in holiness and love, shaping me into a vessel fit for honorable purposes, shining in a world hungry for authenticity. Father, fortify me daily with the bread of your word, guiding me to embody the truth I read, letting it transform me into a living epistle of divine mercy. Grant me alertness, not just intellectually, but spiritually, so that I live with genuine awareness of the times, neither succumbing to despair nor to complacency. Imbue me with courage to stand for righteousness, to advocate for those who cannot speak, and to shine as a beacon of compassion in every arena I inhabit. Lord, shelter me and my loved ones within your protective embrace, dispatching angels to guard our paths from the snares of evil, from dangers both seen and hidden. In my darkest hours, remind me that you are the unchanging source of light, a shelter in chaos, a friend whose faithfulness never wavers. Teach me to forgive swiftly, to love unconditionally, and to walk humbly in the steps of your Son, who modeled the essence of sacrificial devotion. Grant me the willingness to speak your truth, not from arrogance or self-righteousness, but from a heart overflowing with love for those who wander in confusion. Father, I extend this prayer not only for myself, but for every soul who struggles to find hope, who yearns for meaning in an often tumultuous existence. Pour out your Spirit across the nations, awakening hearts, rekindling visions, and uniting believers in a common aim to reveal your unending love. Lord, in the days that challenge my resolve, anchor me in the certainty of your sovereignty, ensuring that I neither tremble at adversity nor shrink back from the tasks you have given. Let each trial I endure serve to refine my character, forging resilience and deepening my devotion, that I may become a testimony of your sustaining power. Equip me to extend grace to others, especially in seasons of discord, that my words and actions mirror the healing presence of your Spirit. Finally, Father, I entrust my life entirely into your hands, acknowledging that I can never fully direct my own steps with perfect wisdom. Let your will be my guiding star, your word my faithful compass, your love my sustaining force, as I await the hour of your return with hopeful anticipation. My beloved child, as you now leave this sacred space, remember that my words are your eternal guide and comfort. Return to this channel again and again, for each message is a divine invitation to awaken your spirit, renew your hope, and embrace the destiny I have lovingly prepared for you. Subscribe, join our community of faithful hearts, and share these sacred revelations with those in need of light. Let every visit remind you that my love is unchanging, my grace endless, and every moment with me is a step toward eternal joy. Amen.